Oh my gosh, some of our favorite altcoins are getting ready to explode. Joe Biden gaslights America once again, and Charles Hoskinson loses it. All this and more on today's Blockchain Basement. We are the bread and butter of all the information that's been swimming across the internet for crypto news.
If you're going to screw me, at least pull my hair.
Yeah. Hell yeah. What do you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Over 2 years, he's made like $17K on Roblox.
What?
12.
You never listen to me, and we must be married. Yeah, well, how much are you investing? $100. $400,000 to $600,000. The generational signals are now. Now.
You're spread so thin, that's how you get in on Snake. Snake's been my biggest winner.
Let us F about and find out. Welcome to the Blockchain Basement. We have a hidden contender here in the corners. His thighs were too damn thick.
Also, it's really hard to do TA on a couch.
Okay, and that too.
Yeah,
okay.
And I have a pocket knife over here, and I didn't feel safe sitting next to BJ with a pocket knife.
You might want to move that out of arm's reach. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
I knew he had his own. Yeah, so I didn't want to have to use
I only have this little knife
in self-defense.
Oh, my Lord.
Against it. I think I might be able to pick his nose with it. But.
Yeah, I mean, you can hurt somebody with that.
That's a good dig. How you guys doing? Hannah, what's up? What are you doing? Are we getting, you're sitting here bundled up. I guess I'm bundled up. We're all bundled up.
Apparently. It's cold outside.
It feels great.
It's cold.
Look at her.
It's so cold the camera can't even focus.
Unbelievable. There you are.
Hey, girl.
Yep, there you are.
Hey.
BJ, on the couch, being the chaos ghost in the machine. How you doing this morning?
Yes.
Yes. You know,
Good
Cardano and Charles Hoskinson coming out here a little hot and heavy against the SEC. I was liking seeing what he was saying.
Charles is angry.
Does this spark joy with you? Are you behind what his statements are? Put the Howey test to the test? What's the deal? Is Cardano going to make it? Or is the SEC going to kill it?
Yes.
I see a lot of chat people talking about they feel pain every time they DCA. That might be bullish, though, because then you're DCAing into something that hasn't mooned or started to moon yet. You know, and I did have some people highlighting Maple Finance. Don't know if I'll just pull it up on the screen here. We were bringing up Maple Finance about a month and a half ago. We're going to check out and see where the price action's been since we've been talking about it. This is the real world asset small cap token that was brought up in a few larger banks' financial notes about the outlook of real world assets. And here's the month, you guys, up 210% on the month. Absolutely delicious. So looking at this from afar, it's at an $88 million market cap. Real world assets are barely getting scratched. The butt is still itching on this niche. So basically, I think there's still some room to go here for Maple Finance. In general, this is the all-time graph. It did cook up to right around $65 in previous. Actually, kind of a different time frame than the rest of the market. This thing kind of mooned as Bitcoin was already falling. But again, this is a completely separate niche. RWAs, treasury-backed stable coins that I do see as a pretty big narrative incoming, and it looks like there's some banks that are also interested in it as well. But here's the thing I was real surprised at. Talking about Bitcoin taking a haircut yesterday. Here's the weekly on it. Not too shabby. Looks a little feisty, but
Leave the TA to the actual experts.
yeah, let's talk to it with Tim, the TA man Taylor. Tim,
Yeah.
are we doomed because we didn't reach that that little spot right there, that middle? I mean, it did in essence. It's just not showing it. This one was at 38. What's the deal? Are we gonna die?
No, I mean, we're doing beautifully right now.
Okay.
We're doing beautifully for Bitcoin. We're still seeing those higher highs, higher lows. If you go to my chart here,
Yep.
you guys will see here we're still wrestling. There's a couple things we're wrestling with on the short term. A couple things we're wrestling with the long term. Short term, we got this blue line right here, resistance. Yeah, we have some moves above it back in November on the 9th. We're still in November, so earlier November, and the 15th. But as a whole, that resistance is still holding up. Support still holding up with a couple outbreaks, but overall, those are more like bear traps that tricked a lot of people out. You can see
Can I ask
we
a
kissed
very
it just
dumb
perfectly
question?
right here. Yeah.
Let us interject idiocy.
So the blue line, if you scroll slightly to the left, so you're going from the top of those, kind of the top of the wicks, to the next kind of top of wicks.
Yeah. Well, so
do you kind of make the lines work for yourself? Because it's like, I feel like that line theoretically should be a little tighter.
So you could do a
And
lot
that's
of
a
different
question,
things.
'cause I have
So
no
this
clue what I'm
this
talking
is
about.
what I do right now.
Okay.
When you do technical analysis, you want to find as many points of confluence as possible, right? So if I were to connect, I'll play with these lines. If I were to go like this, right? Well, I really only have maybe 3 touches when there was a lot of price action that came in here, and then when I move it back over to my tight area, now I have, look at how many touches I have on this support zone. 1,
makes a lot more
2,
sense. Okay.
3, 4, and even a wick through. That's still a touch. Like you can zoom in and see, like this one had a candle close below it, but look where the candle's closed right at that line. Then another touch right there. Yes, we went through that one, but another touch right here. So this is the strongest level of support. So the line's that way. And then I cloned it. So if you right click the line, you clone it, right there, boom. Now that's what I went and applied this and found the most amount of touches. That's where you have the breakthrough right there. But as a whole, most of the rejections are happening along that trend. When technical analysis is an art form. And so there is a little bit of, there's not rules. Like a lot of people like to have clean rules, like, oh, you do only wicks to wicks or only candle bodies to candle bodies. It's like, no, there's a method of madness that you have to be able to understand. But
Well,
the
I
more
like your
touches you
method
get, the
more.
more confirmation you have.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that makes a lot more sense when you have more like data points, if you will,
Yes.
versus just being like, all right, I found these 2, let's rock it.
Yes. Well, and what I'm looking at right now, I posted it, I think, in my private Discord today with the investing bros. But next one I'm looking at here, golden pocket at 39.1. When you zoom out, let's go to the weekly chart. Zooming out, Fibonacci levels, that's the golden pocket. We've been talking about that level for a while. The upper bands get us closer to 41,000. It's also going to correspond with us breaking through this blue dotted line. I told you, there's we're wrestling with shorter time frame stuff and longer time frame stuff. This blue line has significance both of support and resistance since that peak right there back in August of 2017. So it starts out as resistance, gets used as support, turns back into resistance, wrestles back and forth. Right now, ever since right here in August of 2022, this has been strong resistance. So a breakout above this line would be bullish, not only because we move to the upside, but also this is a rising wedge pattern, which is bearish. So if we reject on this blue line and make a move back down, that could easily at least send us back down to support at 31. If not, technically speaking, I don't think this is going to play out this way, but theoretically speaking, this breakout could, if we came even lower, could be something that sends us all the way back down below 20,000.
You mean
I don't
the
think that's
CME
happening.
gap?
That's
what?
the CME
The CME gap?
he's looking
That's the,
for.
and again, and I
have it?
used to be,
Can we please have it?
I used to be
I
a
know, we
big
can't have
proponent
this.
of that prediction. I think the bullishness that we have going on right now, you would need something extremely catastrophic, and we're removing the
In
catastrophic
crypto
problems
or
little by little.
on,
I mean, it could be in life.
If the world in crypto, so what I would say to send us down to 20,000, we would have needed to see the collapse of Binance, but that's not going to happen with this new deal that CZ just made. You would need to see ETFs be outright rejected and Gary Gensler give us a reason to think it's never going to get accepted. But even what we've seen recently, That's not looking likely whatsoever. I don't think there's anything in the news that could give us the excuse to go down that far. Also, when you're looking at on-chain data, the amount of long-term holders who are just refusing to sell, I think we can get back. I see us potentially getting back down towards 27 to 25,000. Worst case scenario. I don't see a scenario. A black swan event could change everything. Yeah. But I don't see a scenario right now that's predictable that would send us below 25K.
Yeah, I mean, Black Swan, I think about those all the time, right, as a pepper. I just kind of feel like people care less.
Well, I also agree that the Black Swan or any event, it's not going to be crypto related because that's what Tim just said. It's like the things that happen with Binance, the things that, again, we aren't going to know on the ETF, but it's going to have to be something maybe with the housing market or the fact that everybody is about to be completely broke. If you look at the amount of debt that people have. Yeah, something potentially happening with. I don't think student loans would do it either. So it's going to have to be something super weird.
Yeah, I don't think the long term holders who are really the ones propping it up. They're not the ones with massive amounts of student debt.
Yeah, right. So, and like I had this from Unusual Whales. They did there's just a poll from CNBC and at Yahoo Finance that says 93% of home buyers have regrets about purchasing a house.
Of course they do.
I just wanted to bring that by you. I know you were in the market, Jesus.
Yeah, but I'm also sitting on the sideline specifically because I saw where all of this was going, and I saw that like this is, if you are a evil genius, this was the perfect situation. Is you get everybody to FOMO in, you have interest rates where they're at, but you're buying a house that is massively overpriced.
It is.
Therefore, you are immediately in negative equity. And then what happens is, because basically I know they're saying 2008 would never happen again.
Yeah.
There are plenty of junk mortgages out there. There just are. And what ends up happening is that mortgage company is now, because people are starting to be delinquent on their payments, they then sell that loan to somebody else who then is going to look at the original underwriting and just be like, oh, because they bought that loan because they knew it was a junk loan. And when they look at the paperwork and the underwriting and see that person that the money was loaned to should have never had it, the original mortgage company now owes them the money.
Yeah.
And then this ends up tightening up. And then what happens is that company now, because the mortgage company can't pay them, they can then seize your house.
It can get sticky quick.
And that is going to happen.
Look at that. 33% of them said their home requires too much maintenance.
Okay, I feel it.
You feel that?
When y'all have asked me about, like, are young people considering buying a house or not, like, most people aren't. And a lot of it, I feel like, is because you have to take care of it. Like, it's expensive to own a house, and with an apartment.
Boo-hoo,
Oh my god!
But
you have to take care of it.
That's not how I feel.
No, I know.
But I can call my maintenance guy to come fix my AC, and he comes and fixes it. Whereas if I had a house right now, I'd have to pay $2,000 to fix an AC.
I know people told me that all the time, but then guess what? All kinds of information is available on YouTube.
No.
Yeah,
and
but that's not the culture, Drew. The culture,
that should be the culture.
The cultural push of you will own nothing and you will love it is working perfectly.
Is
Everything
working.
in our life,
oh my God,
as young people, is we can get things easy. We don't have to work for it. It's as long as you have some money, you can get whatever you want. That money is fading away, but the work ethic is fading away as well.
And your money is fading away. You're paying out the wazoo for people to do those things.
If anybody needs, you can DM me on Twitter. I am now an Electrolux dryer expert.
You are. Yeah. See, the perfect example, right?
Oh, man.
And you could have went and bought a new one. You could have hired someone, but you became
I'm
obsessed.
too much like Anakin. Yeah. I'm OCD and just want to fix things.
I like it.
The fuck did you just say?
The first time I watched Star Wars, I was really young and a little boy crazy. And
Really?
I was obsessed with Anakin.
Okay.
You have daddy issues.
Wow.
If you're into
May or may
Anakin, that is like the epitome of daddy issues.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
The character in and of itself, quite a story. But here's the thing to think about, okay? Every time that you don't pay thousands of dollars in service fees to a contractor to fix something in your home, that's money you can take and invest in Chainlink, right? Or invest in Bitcoin. It gives you more ability to increase your future holdings if you're not paying for those types of services that you can do on your own. I understand there's hesitation there, but honestly, you just have to know a little bit about everything.
What does the future look like, though? For anyone who gets married and then has kids, do you want to have roommates the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Like that's what this concept of I don't want to
like
buy a house
communes.
because I don't want to have to pay for the bill. Well, to afford rent, you're going to need multiple roommates. And again, if you get married and you have children, you're going to need at least a 2-bedroom, if not a 3-bedroom.
Yeah, and you got to keep adding
Rent
rooms.
on that is not cheap. You might as well just go get a mortgage. And so now instead of throwing that money in the toilet, you're actually building equity and owning something that you can hopefully pass on to your children.
Yeah.
And if you think property is expensive now, wait 50 years from now.
Well,
I
I
have
just want to
something to
rail on this
say.
because I feel like people might miss all their gains. You know, what you got? What
My
you got?
apartment complex right now, our maintenance guys called me yesterday while I was at work, and I didn't answer.
It's kind of
And
awkward.
my roommate said she went down to the office, and it's because they have investors coming to our building, and they want to tour our unit. Like somebody's coming because our rent is still like, you know, it's we're lucky right now, and now there's about to be investors coming in and raising the rent. So it's like exactly what you're saying. is what's
Okay,
happening.
see, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming, and like, I stress this a lot.
Or they're
because-
trying to sell the building to get out of the loan because
Probably
commercial.
both.
Well, commercial real estate isn't profitable anymore.
Yeah.
That's why people's rent is about to go down. Actually,
Yeah, renting is cheaper than buying right now, but in the long term, owning is much more
In
profitable,
Atlanta?
in my opinion.
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
And
And
we're-
it's only gonna be a phase where the rent is low. When demand increases, and it will, the prices will go back up.
Yeah. I just
except you have at minimum a couple 100,000 homes that are about to hit the market, and those are commercial.
This is
real
such a
estate
loaded
homes.
because in my area, there's all kinds of
Yeah, you're in
entire
the middle of
neighborhoods.
nowhere.
But there's whole neighborhoods of nice built houses that are already sold. That is entire developments. And I used to hire for the commercial and residential construction industry at Mass, and you know, I know that those types of projects are in the hundreds of millions of dollars for the scale that I see being built out in my rural location. It's just that people, I think, are starting to prefer a different type of living situation outside of city centers. I think that's just in general what we're seeing for people that are in a position where you have a family and you don't want to necessarily go to the Nike store and get punched in the back of the head as someone else is looting and you're sitting there trying to buy some shoes. It's just not the preferable situation. So
You're
I think
such a
that
country boy.
I'm just,
There's some accuracy to what you're saying.
I
but-
mean, that's the flat out truth, and I'm unapologetic of that. You know
That's-
what I mean?
it's true. It's true.
It's just what I'm gonna position my kids in the safest, best potential, not some worn out city center with drug addicts dragging along the side of the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're gonna see city center locations lose value, in my opinion, and rural or just on the outskirts type locations actually increase in value. So keep that in mind. And the reason why I rant about this heavily is because we're right on the cusp. We're holding crypto, good cryptos going into a bull market. And it is important not to squander that wealth on garbage when you get there, right? And I just stress this. I know many people that went all the way up and then all the way back down. And, you know, we are at a pretty special point in time right now where we've had some awesome entries, where we've been looking at the right projects. We're looking at, a slew of different 1,000% plus gainers over the year. And I just stress that don't go squandering it on a heavily depreciating asset. Land is one of the most sought after resources on earth. And I just absolutely stress you guys to take that seriously. I know renting, it seems easier, but then you get, some weird maintenance guy calling you at lunch, and then you have some VC investor hopping in and checking it out and getting ready to double your rent. Things change quickly in that situation. I've been there, so I will say that because I was a touring musician for a long time. I rented at best for a long time. But then the moment I saw family coming, that's when I put the screws down and really focused on that, and changed my life. So I absolutely stress you guys, it's important to do.
So wait, if y'all didn't have a house, would you be buying one like now, or would you wait?
I would be buying one right now. You can refinance.
It's that exact mentality
I know.
that is the reason why 93% of
I
owners.
did it last cycle though, and it worked out great. And I think that
but you haven't did it in the last 18
I have
months.
I don't know if we have a different idea about what's going to happen though, BJ.
What's your idea?
Well, because we're looking at the comparison of the Fed funding rate in comparison to the 70s and 80s and how it's still in line with generally following that pattern, right? And again, I don't think we're disagreeing here. I think
For your benefit, I wouldn't.
I'm
kidding.
What is important about this is the time frame, right? Because if we're following along that same trajectory, over the next year and a half, you will see a momentary collapsing of interest rates, meaning that they will have to cut rates momentarily like they did in the 70s to 80s process, but then it swoops back up even more violently and heavier than it was previously because they realize risk assets are still running, the dollar's holding levels are dwindling, and they have to reel it back in. So I think
where's the part that we disagree on?
Well, I think the part that we disagree on is you disagreeing with me buying a house right now with the ability to refinance a year and a half down the road after they give up and tap out just a little bit.
So here's the thing. Okay, so that's your argument is right now is money is extremely getting tight. So if you look at businesses that are literally cutting because they can't afford loans, and how if you look at like Wells Fargo, if you go to their website for business loans, the page isn't even there anymore.
Really?
Because they're not even doing it. So where my argument is, I agree with you on everything, but when you go to buy that house, if you were trying to get a mortgage, you're probably not getting one.
Yeah.
Well, now, if you're in the upper echelon of credit and you are making over $110,000 a year on paper, you might be all right. But if you're not above a 750 and you do not make over $110,000, you will not be getting a mortgage.
Well, another thing I forgot to mention, like I don't recommend when I bought a house or I bought a few houses, and every single time they stress and almost like get needy about me only putting the minimum amount of money down on the house.
Of course.
And if
you're buying cash, then we're in a totally different argument.
Well, but I paid.
We're not in an argument. You are correct.
Yeah, I paid half in cash. So you go into it with half of that loan. But again, I'm talking in preparation for, we're positioned in bull markets. I know there's a lot of people that don't have houses yet, and I stress that it's important and how you get there. I think that once you get the ability to buy, if you're basically after 2026, I wouldn't expect any more rate cuts. I think that's when the nasty pain of very expensive money is coming. So
it's extremely expensive.
It's going to get.
Why do you think I'm trying to sell plastic goods right now?
Yeah. Well,
also, anybody who plays a basic guitar, DM me and buy something from me.
Why aren't we starting a band, BJ? She's air guitar.
I've got no rebuttal.
We need to start a band.
I'm trying to get my chops up.
Triangle.
Trying to get your chops up.
I've been practicing my cycle of fourths.
Yeah. I think we're on our precipice of a good cycle, though. Just be intelligent with what you do with the winnings. We have a lot of spot Bitcoin ETF expectations that are still running across the media. I do still have the mindset that we'll be seeing BlackRock and ARK come to acceptance in January, as Larry Fink said he would get. Just kind of take him for his word on that because he basically runs the show. In recent weeks, institutional investors have shown interest in crypto funds based on the possibility of this ETF, Bitcoin spot ETF, being approved. According to a report by CoinShares, Europe-based digital asset manager, there was a significant inflow, $346 million into crypto exchange products, ETPs, last week, and this marked just a really big increase in inflow over 9 consecutive weeks. So it looks like things are starting to heat up on that, but it's important to note a small amount of these inflows are coming from the American market yet. The American market is still on the sidelines paying attention to this. I've kind of ranted many times about, breaking my mindset about expecting a diminished returns type situation. I still think that that's valid. JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon came out this week and said that these ETFs being approved, Bitcoin spot ETFs, has actually hurt the price action. Tim, how did you take that when JP Morgan's lead, right? Jamie Dimon saying that when these spot ETFs do get approved, it's basically going to have downward price action on Bitcoin. Is that chaos to you? How do you take
that? Really hurts my feelings.
Did it really?
Yeah, because I like to, everyone likes to talk about inverse Kramer. I love inverse Jamie Dimon.
Yeah.
And I believed before I heard Jamie said it. I said at a certain point we kept pumping into the news that they were rumoring an ETF was coming. Mm-hmm. I got to a place where I was like, all right, I still believe a dip is coming. Is it possible that one doesn't come? Yeah, it's possible. But I still believe Bitcoin could get a 30% to 40% dip.
Tax loss harvesting. And
my philosophy at this point is now, I thought it was going to come before the approval, but now my thought is actually, I think that pretty shortly after, give it a couple days, maybe a week, after they announce the approval of the ETFs, I think that we'll start to move to the downside. And I think there's going to be some sort of FUD that they blame it on, but in reality, it's BlackRock, Fidelity, and others taking profit to buy in lower. Why are they doing it then? Because the day that we hear that the ETFs get approved is not the day that people can actually trade these ETFs. There will be at least a month delay, if not longer. So it's the perfect window they're not going to do it overnight. It's not going to go like from 40,000 to 30,000 in one day. It's going to take a couple of weeks. And so it's the perfect scenario to get the bullish news, get one more good pump. BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest, all of them, they take profit. They come up with some excuse. My thought at this point is Tether FUD. I think that we're not going to hurt Tether. Tether's going to stay around, but they're going to try to scare you like it's going to go away. That will freak the market out, because if Tether did crash, the market would crash. So if they can scare you into thinking Tether might crash, people will get their money out early. They'll come down back to 30,000 to 25,000, and then that'll be the perfect opportunity for BlackRock to scoop up those low prices, because I still don't think the long-term holders are going to sell. And then we'll get the ETF approved, and it'll be a slow process right there on the halving. It'll be a slow process of sideways, but slightly to the upside. And then summertime, things get really explosive again.
I somewhat disagree. I want to point out, Mojo says, how the fuck are you going to tax loss harvest when you're up? That's how that works, genius. Like, you're calling us idiots. They more than likely were buying at the 15,000 level.
I think
then they buy all the way up, and then they crash it back down.
I don't agree with you guys, though.
No, I know. The second that ETF is launched, the price goes up, because they have millions, if not billions of dollars in investors that they got to invest in the ETF. And if they see losses, they're going to be pissed.
Well,
plus, if they're doing the ETF, they can sell it to people for a higher value, and then you make profit there.
Yeah.
Plus, we're still pre-halving. We're still pre-bull run top. There's still plenty of time for them to make profit off of everything.
Yeah.
But that's my argument. I'm not saying I'm correct.
No, the idea of them manipulating to some degree, it's reasonable to expect from an organization as large as that. But then in the back of my mind, I've been covering nearly a complete loss. Like, the overall banking system operates with about $2.3 trillion of bandwidth. They're already in unrealized loss levels at around $1.8 trillion of that 2.3 as of now. It's continuing to grow, and there's still a lot of losses that are there to accept for these larger banks. And BlackRock obviously is no stranger to massive banks in the United States that are basically calling all of the shots. And it also brings the question, like we've seen 2 weeks ago, there was a rumor of the seed buying of these Bitcoin positions for these ETFs. We had some more info come out from Bitcoin News today. The mystery whale keeps its daily buying streak up, acquiring 539 Bitcoin this morning, following an accumulation of 1,178 Bitcoin yesterday. This is a graph. Over the past 28 days, they've amassed a total of 10.3 thousand Bitcoin, propelling them to the number 73 spot on overall Bitcoin rich list. This thing's laddering up. Someone is in the background absolutely hammering into this Bitcoin position. I don't think it's been solved who exactly is behind the wallet address yet, but I think that this might be tied to those earlier rumors where we saw Bitcoin seeding, potentially, being done right now while all this news is going on. So interesting stuff to think about.
It's just, okay, so this is why I think that price will dip during that time. This is the one thing I can promise every single person that's going to happen with institutional money coming in. Manipulation of price. They're going to manipulate price. Now, the good news is that manipulation will continue to move the price up into the right in ways that retail could never do. Like, there was a ceiling with retail investors when it comes to Bitcoin.
Right.
With institutional money, now we're not just talking about $1 million price action for Bitcoin in the future. We're talking about multiple millions of dollars coming into the Bitcoin ecosystem with institutional money. But don't be surprised at the manipulation. And so with everyone so excited and the price just going nuts in the rumors of the purchase of the ETF, it's a buy the rumor, sell the news type of an event. And again, we're not just talking about, because I've heard some people be like, oh, you don't want to drop the price down and have people buy in. You don't want to have people buy in to high prices and then drop the price down after. Yeah. Well, guess what? Their clients won't buy at 50,000 right at first if we get up that high. They're going to crash after the approval happens. Remember, there's a month before you actually can buy it, before their clients actually get any of it. They will crash the price, A, to load more bags for more customers, and They're going to have their own bags, all these companies. They want to make money too. They don't want to just get it to offer to their clients. They want to make money too. So it's the perfect opportunity with that month dip. Crash the price back down. Could you imagine their sales ability to sell it to people at $30,000 rather than $50,000 right there at the beginning?
There's that.
It's the perfect situation for multitudes of reasons to wait for the approval, then let the price dip back down 30, 40, 50%, buy the bags down low, and then let the price ride later on this summer. It's the perfect scenario for a multitude of reasons. That's why, again, is it a guarantee? No, it's not a guarantee. But in my book, that's a high probability of happening for a plethora of reasons.
Like I tend to disagree with you, but your argument is very, very sound. Like it's a very sound argument.
Well, speaking of manipulation,
See, look at that. He is smart.
he's manipulating.
I try.
Screw
my
that guy in
emotions.
chat.
I'm sad that they deleted it. I like to see. There's some guys like, I'm not going to make it, bro. I've made it cycle after cycle.
No,
So,
they tilted me. I'm sorry.
I know, but I like being tilted.
Oh, sometimes I do too.
Yeah.
Like there are people in chat that troll me. That's fine, but that was just being a dick. And
Well, here we
off.
go. Here, let's get more tilted. Here's Uncle Joe gaslighting us all at once. Let's get ready for this. Are you ready for this, BGs? All right.
You got to move your mic though.
This past week, as Americans gathered around their own kitchen tables for Thanksgiving dinner, that was our goal, to give them a little more breathing room. And together, we made progress. You know, from turkey to air travel to tank of gas, costs went down. They went down. Now, to people making a lot of money, that doesn't matter a whole lot because the costs are relatively small compared to wealthy incomes. In fact, as a share of earnings this Thanksgiving, dinner was the 4th cheapest ever on record. I want you to know that. I look at
She's just like, okay, boomer. Any other good ones back there?
Oh my God.
She's like, are you serious?
All right. You want to play it again? All right. We'll play it some more. All right.
I look at all the press, look at that. Press is particularly excited about that, I can see. Well, this past week, as America's...
It's like the Hunger Games, you guys. This is amazing. This was the 4th cheapest holiday Thanksgiving.
I actually really like this. Really like this comment. Alex Green says, "Just put on your sociopath hat. That's how you need to play the market."
That's it. That's the alpha right there. That's it.
I mean, that's what I've been saying this whole time. Well,
it plays the
just
opposite.
phrased it phenomenally.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about that, Tim? And leaving your emotions out, acting like a sociopath as a TA master. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is the problem with where our world is. Hundreds of years ago, even like you go back 200 years, nobody lied. Like people might have disagreed, had a different opinion, but nobody lied. Today, we've gotten to a place
seen that
where
Mel Gibson movie. What is it, Maverick?
Bro, Mel Gibson.
Dude, Mel Gibson's lit these days.
there's no shame in lying to people, and they know the mass. They know a sect of the masses will believe them, and it's a whole psychology game. There's no consequences for them lying. They can say what they want. It's all about just getting back in power. And by the way, I'm not talking about just Joe Biden and his factor. I'm talking about politics in general. To them, there's no bad consequences for lying blatantly through their teeth. It's just, what narrative can I say with my mouth that will help me and make me look good to idiots?
Yeah.
They say it and people believe them, and it's sad. I mean, it's actually really hard. I mean, right now we're in a world where it's like you have to wonder if a video is actually real or if it's AI. You have to actually fact check literally everything that anyone ever says. It's exhausting to live in the world with no honor and no truth.
Bro, you brought up something here. Let me see here.
Can I bring up on that note? Hold on. I love this. I've been sharing this quote with everybody. That popped up in Dune yesterday. This one was great. Reason is the first victim of strong emotion.
Oh, that's very true.
That's a banger.
That's very true. And if you want to hack life, this is from Nicholas Mimaris.
Oh, yeah, this is hilarious.
You can wear an extra finger. So the photo video evidence will be inadmissible in court as it'll appear to be AI generated. So here's an old school one. I remember that there was here it is, the 6 finger. Look at this thing. It's an extra finger that came out a while ago.
My favorite is the photos, just the kid like this, and then the other hand's back here. I can do it now too.
Yeah, let's see it.
Oh, we gotta
that
get the
gets in your
angle
hand.
just right.
There you go.
Be like,
There you go. Fake. Fake. We are stab.
I'm not getting the angle right.
We're
But you know.
starting to see some people tell the truth, though. Let's check this out. A former White House physician says President Biden's health is getting worse and putting the entire United States at risk. Yeah.
It's his health that's doing it,
yeah.
not his.
Not his
See, that was their
plans.
secret plan. If you get a guy in office that's that delusional, he actually believes he's telling the truth. You can feed him whatever numbers you
Bill?
want.
That's true.
What?
Bill Clinton, he said it enough. I think he really believed himself about Monica and the dress. Do you remember that?
Oh my goodness.
That was
Yeah,
a
well.
special time in life.
I can think of
What's
somebody
special?
else who says so
What
many
did he
lies. I'm
say?
pretty sure they think it's the truth.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was going to hit the stream end button. That's a
Dude.
joke.
I thought I saw a cockroach around here. Let's see here. So, a former White House doctor who served as a physician for the 3 former U.S. presidents has raised the alarm about Biden's health. Texas Republican Representative Ronnie Jackson, a former White House physician, said that he understands what it means to be the head of the state and the toll that the job takes on one's overall health. In Biden's case, he says it's deteriorating quickly. Might need a new robot model to take his place. It's because this man, even if he wanted to, he cannot provide that leadership. He's not physically and cognitively fit for your office anymore, and someone in his inner circle needs to step up to the plate and make him aware of this. He needs to move on for the safety and security of the country. Man, even beyond all the hard-sided evidence that we have of his strong-arming in Ukraine, over their internal law system.
Hey,
in
they're just
general.
trying to help BlackRock's bottom line.
I know.
They
And
created
now-
the problem, and now they're going to
Yeah.
get all the contracts to rebuild.
Isn't that fun?
It's genius.
Isn't that fun? They're
Yeah.
going to rebuild
How-
everything.
What
And you-
could that go wrong
And
for
where
the
did
American
Oprah
people?
go with the Rock video? Remember all their
Oh,
funds?
yeah,
the Rock had to apologize for that. You know what I mean? Yeah, he got.
Wait, what were they about to do?
They were about to. Okay, I don't want to go on. You're going to get me canceled.
What did they say they were about
So they made this video
Oh,
and they
man.
were like trying to convince everyone to send them money to basically help rebuild Maui, right? And then the funds never got never got released out to Maui or any sort of aid. And then The Rock had to come out and apologize for that. So, you know, I mean that's going on, but also Ukraine, the BlackRock deal there. I mean, come on. It's so, if you just really back up and look at the results, the instigation and the results of each of these situations going on right now, it all comes back down to money, and most of the money is controlled by a few large organizations on the planet. So with that information, you take it as you will.
Wait, Mitch says, saw a cockroach? No, not even a cockroach would fuck you. Get out of here.
Dude.
What up, blood?
Cockroaches are a thing, though. In the fields where my chickens are, my chickens eat a lot of those things. Like, they could self-sustain.
Ew.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing. I mean, you say it's ew, but it's good. And spiders, keep them at bay. I keep spiders around just because of them. You know what I mean? If we didn't have spiders, we'd be overrun with bugs. Have you ever thought about that, Hannah? You know, we got to be thankful for them. The creepy crawlies. Here's Elon Musk. Being based AF does seem at least a little bit
Oh,
suspicious.
God, are we really showing this?
This is crazy.
No, it wasn't. We have experts.
Crazy.
They traffic children, but we have experts. Your expert was just sent to jail for child porn. For anyone that doesn't know, you know, a pretty famous debunker of the overall story, a former ABC investigative journalist, just pleaded guilty to the very thing that he debunked and kept all the masses at bay because there's nothing to worry about here. And this could never happen at the top ends of government and leadership, right? And here we are. So good on Elon for bringing this up. He's got a hell of a reach on Twitter. So really, it's X now. Since he owns it, he renamed it X. I should call it
Hey,
X.
scroll down a little. Scroll down a little.
Oh, what? You want me to keep going? This could get dangerous.
Just a little. Just a little.
Wait,
just a
C90
little.
said it was
Moose!
deleted already,
It's
but aren't we
Moose!
looking at it
It's
live?
Moose?
Joey Moose.
You know this guy,
Yeah,
Joey
we
Moose?
love Moose.
You love Moose.
We
Okay.
love Moose. He's
Okay.
a good penguin.
Well, I like him because he's based. He looks like he's based. And I do think that Elon Musk paid $44 billion for a crime scene, essentially. So it's nice to see this information rolling out, being shown to the masses. What else we got here? Spain citizens start declaring foreign crypto assets, but you got to keep in mind, Spain is getting lit. There is a gigantic movement on the right that is looking to recapture the power in the country, and it is going to get funky over there. Spain's government are taking major steps towards crypto taxes. As a citizen of Spain, you have crypto on platforms like exchanges outside of Spain. You will need to tell the government by March 31st of next year. This is part of new rules being made for taxing virtual assets. This is the blanket of control. Spain's tax agency, the Agencia Tributaria, is getting strict with crypto taxes. In April 23, they sent out 328,000 warning notices to people who didn't pay their taxes for 2022, a huge increase from 150,000 in 2022 from just 15,000. So that's a massive increase. Only 15,000 people had these notices. 22, that has absolutely grown. And it looks like even if that's even doubling right now, more than doubling. So the hammer's coming down. It's probably something that we'll see similar type of rollout in the United States with those 87,000 tax IRS agents that they so needed to hire on. I could rant about taxes on and on and on. Just get land, good trees, and a big dog, and we'll see where this country goes. If they don't take their foot off the neck of the middle class soon, they will find out. So that's what happens.
Also, apparently somebody's going to hire me to pump gas. I guarantee you I make more in 4 days than you make in a month. So
yeah, I don't think you'd ever be pumping
you have
gas.
no clue what I make.
I don't think
Congratulations on thinking
$7.
$7.
No, never mind. I'm not saying the next part. But good luck. Just so you know, we're making money while you're sitting here trying to troll in your parents' basement.
Well,
so,
I mean, they're down bad. They need to try to lift their own bags. So, that's the way it goes. Here is BRICS news. Now, everyone knows I've ranted long before it was cool on BRICS. Here's just to highlight 15 countries to plan to ditch the US dollar for oil trade.
But this was found to be debunked, correct?
No, this isn't. This is pretty fresh news out of the UAE. It does look like they're looking to settle oil payments in local currencies and sideline the dollar. But in general, this overall process of de-dollarization and moving away from, dollar dominance across the world is I would say at least a decade away, and that's if you're lucky. And when we see things like this, what does this really mean, you guys? It means that the USS, a slew of USS carriers are going to be making their way over near these nations, and then we'll say, how rude of you to park your country next to our aircraft carrier. Let's work on our monetary policy. How about that? And then things get talked about on a governmental level, and the deals are re-solidified. I don't think that American dominance is going away, kind of anytime soon. I know that there's a lot of scaredness about it, and a lot of people think that it's actually going to happen. But if you have been anywhere near actual government stuff, you know that we know very little to the extent of what our government at large has been developing since it took over the overall world trade after World War II. It's immense. It's thick. It's nasty. And I don't think that any country really stands in the way of that. But we will see this side group of BRICS messing about and finding out. That is the unfortunate fact of it that I see happening. Your basement has mice. God bless. And
where we have mice?
No, we don't have mice. I was thinking we have like a raccoon on the top of the building, I think.
Those are known as forbidden cats.
Forbidden cats?
Yes.
Trash pandas?
Raccoons are so cute.
They are.
They are pretty cute, aren't
But they have opposable thumbs, so they can get into trouble.
But they have opposable thumbs? Does that bother you about them?
Well, no. I mean, I think I would rather take a polydactyl cat than a raccoon.
Okay.
Because the raccoon knows how to use it. The cat is figuring out how to use it.
Gotcha.
Polydactyl cat's a cat with more than 5.
Correct. So
yeah, I had a cat growing up that had 6.
It's known as
on
Hemingway syndrome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my God, yeah, it is a Charlie Brown Christmas. And Nick said we got an ornament today.
Oh, no, we need a wave. We have a bigger tree because I guess I got word that we have some much bigger ornaments on the way. Nick let me know we had to get a bigger tree. So
we got a bunch of them.
Yeah, well, at least one of them's heavy or huge or something like that, just like my thick ass bags. But this tree, I might leave right here. I don't know.
Yeah, a good one.
This is something to watch out for, you guys. So we have Bybit potentially to be sued by the CFTC. Now, Bare Naked Crypto, he's always, I mean, I like that he likes Link, but usually he's not ringing my bell. But this post, pretty on point, and I did see some reports from official news sources coming after it. So figured I'd give him the shout out on the early take on the situation. Just making sure to bring your money off exchanges. All these exchanges are going to have liquidity problems in the next few months if the U.S. government is going to go after them like they did with Binance and other exchanges we've seen. We cannot ignore the fact that Gary Gensler is out here absolutely sending it. So if you are on the Bybit exchange, I would take extreme caution. This is basically highlighting a CFTC subpoena to Coinbase in a matter of Bybit FinTech Ltd. And Ben Zhao. So it looks like they're looking for information in their connection to Bybit. It looks like the grass is rumbling for Uncle Gary on another move against exchanges, and this level of regulation by enforcement doesn't seem to be slowing down. As I noted at the beginning of the show, Charles Hoskinson has began to take his gloves off and get a little bit feistier here. I'm going to see if I can find his post.
It also doesn't feel like there's any regulation nor enforcement going on. It's just a bunch of hearsay, which is what's the most annoying. And also why Charles gets so mad. It's just like either do it or don't.
Right.
Are we about to do it?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up here. Let's play this. He gets lit.
Yeah,
this
as you should.
Yeah.
It's like they're wasting everyone's time being like, well, it may or may not. It's like, if there's a Howey test,
right?
If there are laws in place, just litigate or don't.
Right. It's a
Very
simple
simple
matter.
But no, I love this. He gets
Let's
feisty.
We're sending it.
Then they come in and say it's a security. Okay, well, what the hell does that mean if it's decentralized? How does Bitcoin register? Oh, but it's not. Then explain to me the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano and the rest of the gang. Explain it to me. Like I'm 5 years old. Run the Howey test on it and show me the difference between the two. Tell me, is there an expectation of return with the orange pill moon boys? It's there. There's so many different planks and angles that you can take a look at this thing from. And by the way, if you subpoena an attack about 3 different entities, you could perform a 51% attack on Bitcoin because that's the way the hash power works. But it's decentralized apparently. And Team Orange gets a complete pass. It's a pathetic joke. It's an absolutely pathetic joke.
And I can help him out with the difference.
Well, I was also going to say, like, that's one of the strongest arguments, and I know I've brought up the Nakamoto coefficient so many times that it's like Ethereum's is terrible, Bitcoin's is pretty bad, and then it's like you do look at some of these other chains where it's like, yeah, you would have to control at least 1,000 nodes to even begin to start doing something, whereas like F2 pool or one of the other ones, it's like you really don't have to do that much to be able to sneak in there.
That's a scary talking point, bro.
This is the thing, though. This is the difference.
Yeah,
Charles, and you know this. I know you're just making a point.
Chucky, haha.
The SEC just wants to make money and take money, right? So going after Ethereum, he's not going to go after Ethereum. Why? Because they might have already given him money. Not going to open up that can of worms, but they made money there. We think they made money there. If he wants to go after Cardano, Charles, he knows who to go after. He can get money from you guys, from IOHK. If he wants to go after any altcoin, it's pretty doxed who the founders are. He can go get the money. If they sue Bitcoin, who are they going to get the money from? Like who's going to pay them the money?
That is a difference. That is
the SEC only cares about making money. That's all they want to do. They just want to find people and make money. And with Bitcoin, there's no one to find. So they're like, we're going to let them through because that would just be more pain than it's worth.
It's grown beyond their control.
Yeah.
Already. You know, like they would control it if they could, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it'd be a juicy situation.
Well, it's very obvious they can't based off of A, they can't really litigate it. B, again, it would be gone if they could have.
Right.
So that's why they're joining. That's why you see BlackRock getting involved. That's why you see the U.S. government is the largest holder of Bitcoin. Like these are all relevant to the narrative that they are absolutely controlling and not really telling you everything on. So.
And you'd feel more comfortable in understanding exactly what BJ's talking about if you paid attention to what the Bank of International Settlements has been saying about it. You know, years ago, I've been listening to the Bank of International Settlements and IMF and the World Economic Forum and all of those consortiums on their view of crypto, and it's slowly turned into a point where basically I give up. We have to figure out how to coexist with this thing. Let's see if we can kill stable
Who wants to agree
coins.
with killed by death here? They could have control by mining. I do agree with that.
So they're going to find the miners?
Increase
No. If BlackRock is one of the largest owners of 5 of the largest mining companies, and then they get IP protection on the ASICs. Yeah, you are 100% correct. Again, like that's why I'm probably
come sit on the couch.
Yeah,
Literally.
that's probably why I'm one of the main like ADA maxis. Like I like Bitcoin, but there are huge flaws with it. Ethereum has huge flaws. I'm not saying Cardano doesn't, but it's like we need to keep advancing this space. Like if there are flaws, then get off your high horse and then move to the next chain.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then like Cardano, like getting into Cardano, I can understand like, I mean, it hasn't had the most exciting.
It still has issues.
And it has issues. It hasn't been the most exciting price action, but even if it just recaptures its previous all-time high, it's a
10x.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why I do want to make a chart of just, let's assume every coin returns to its previous all-time high. What do you want to invest in based off of that?
Right. No moonshot math or anything like that.
Between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, Cardano's the answer.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that's 10xing to its all-time high. Bitcoin is now, doubling to its all-time high. Ethereum is doubling to its all-time high.
This is a point that I made the other day. If you go look at any of the top coins, I'm not going to talk about small caps. I'm not going to talk about crazy. Look at top coins, top 50 coins. There is no coin more overextended to the downside than Cardano. Most of them are hitting their 0.5 to golden pocket ratios on Fibonacci from all-time highs down to bear market lows. Even Solana, that had a terrible fall, and it died, quote unquote. It's back up towards its golden pocket, right? There's Aaron.
Oh, wow. You called him out on it.
But,
Aaron said, okay.
but Cardano kissed the 0.236 level and is wrestling with that. And the haters are going to say, oh, that's because it's a terrible project. It's not going to do anything. That's not true, because there's a lot of projects that are doing nothing that are doing phenomenal right now. What I'm looking at is just it hasn't had its turn to explode just yet. It actually, to an unemotional investor, I'm not talking about people who love Cardano, because the lovers of Cardano are going to continue to buy. They're going to continue to hodl on. I'm talking about just a person who wanders into a room, takes a look at some charts, says, what do I want to deploy my money into? Look at this Cardano. Overextended to the downside, has not had an explosive move to the upside. Solana, I'm going to take my profit. Solana's had a great run. Chainlink's had a great run. It might even go up a little higher. But if you're telling me in the next month, which coin has the greater potential? I'm not saying it's absolutely going to outpace everything else, but in terms of potential for a move to the upside, Cardano has the greatest one. And what BJ said is perfect right there. If we just talk about rematching all-time highs, no top coin, no top 50 coin is farther away from its all-time high than Cardano. And so unless you believe, like if you believe Cardano is going to die, don't invest in it. Stick to your conviction. That's fine. But if you believe Cardano is still going to be around in the bull market and is going to make it for the next couple, then logically, just using your unemotional, I want to look at charts, I want to make money, Cardano is your best bet of the top coins right now.
Yeah. I had a question, thoughts on ICP. I hammered into ICP at $3.40 once again, but a much larger position than I was playing with in the accumulation market. And now I'm holding that bag. ICP makes up about 15-20% of my portfolio. So it's actually a pretty sizable. I'm very interested in ICP. I think that it's got good tech. There's a lot of questions about the centralization of its governance. What's that?
Is it Rust-based?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's trying to do something novel, bringing smart contracts to Bitcoin, right? So even enough itself, the narrative of trying to do so, I think is going to be juicy. The same kind of juice that we saw when it gets released on Bitcoin ordinals. What up, Aaron? How the hell
He thinks he's sneaking off.
Yeah, he's not
sneaking. They know you're leaving.
No.
Gotta go.
All right, fine.
Guys.
Thanks for bringing up.
Why would he?
Your freaking.
Why would he not sit on the couch?
His thighs are too damn thick.
Because he said it was too hard to use the mouse, and then I was like, "Well, we could put it on a book," and he was like, "That's too hard to do TA like that."
No, we loved him.
You don't smell.
He's very thick. He can't. He's a big guy.
It was bothering me, so you said, "Aaron, come down here."
I know.
So I said,
Who
"Fine,
said
I'll
I
come
smell
down there."
bad?
No one did. I was just checking to
can't
see if that's
smell you
why.
through the chat.
He didn't want to tell you.
If I smell bad enough, they can smell me through that chat.
Yeah. But no, just to answer your question on ICP, I'm a fan. I'm here for the speculation on it. And no, I don't think ICP is going to go back to $700. I think, the ICP's high levels of $500-$700, those were all leverage trade positions and synthetic assets, heavily, pushed out from Alameda Research. I don't look at the $500 range of ICP as something that ever really existed, knowing what actually happened behind the doors at Alameda Research at the time of its release. So yeah. And then also we have, what else do we have? We have Nancy Pelosi Trade and Bot that's crushing it here. Portfolio holdings is from Quiver Quant. Kind of an interesting name. I built a trading bot that buys the same stock as Nancy Pelosi and her family. The portfolio holdings and the performance are tracked live on his site. Risen by 14% this month in the traditional markets. Not bad. Has risen 50% this year. And Pelosi, just a fun note, has made almost 100 times of her salary in Congress off of her trading. So heavyweight when it comes to insider trading within the United States. Well in the know. So kind of an interesting thing to know if you're traversing on the traditional markets. We'll go all the way through this here. What else we got here? Tornado Cash plummeting by 56% after Binance yesterday announced it is delisting the token. I'm wondering where the token is right now. This is an absolute mess. Very painful retrace on this one. Honestly, not looking horrible. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yep.
There it is. There it is. This is after the
Speaking of
announcement.
precipice,
Yeah, that's a problem there. But God, yeah, that's an issue. 51%. We got problems, folks. Let's back up here. Let's see if we can find forest to the trees here. It's not looking great. Not looking great. This is the year.
it doesn't spark what?
This does not spark joy.
Okay.
This definitely does not spark joy. And this is, again, you know, we were talking about Tornado Cash and highlighting it's probably going to get focused on by the DOJ. Lo and behold, it happened. I talked about the very...
But didn't we discuss that we were shocked? Like, I thought it was just off exchanges as of like a year and a half ago.
Tornado Cash? Torn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been gone after for a while. It's been
No, I
under
thought it was
scrutiny.
just like not on exchanges for the most part.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right. It wasn't highly accessible, but this is the kind of like the death sentence for it, man. This is down by 99.1% still. The co-founder
Say that about
developer.
Luna Classic and
Dude, it's just like, and they arrested the developer of it, right? And then it kicked off this whole code is speech conversation. You know, so it's really kind of something you got to keep in the back of your mind when you're looking at things like Thorchain Rune. I'm very bullish on what it does, decentralized swaps. I'm very, very bullish on the freedom to do so. But then I do acknowledge the fact that, you know, if it's got someone they can black bag, it might happen, you know, sooner than later if it's working really well, which Rune is.
what does that even mean? I love it.
Nancy Pelosi can get stuck in my washer anytime. That's bullish. That's real bullish.
I mean,
That's real
If
bullish.
you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Do you?
God.
No, I don't know.
Let's see what we got here. So, oh yeah, this is something I forgot to ask Tim about, but this is his range for pushing above $18 after bouncing on a rising support for Chainlink. This is just, I wanted to highlight the higher lows that we have created since the good Chainlink pumpy rumpy. And it is looking like it's coiling up for another move here. So should this play out all the way through this triangle, which is a good potential, we'd be looking at right around the front end of January, really moving on into the next level. I am giga bullish on Chainlink, and I would not be surprised if we reach the Bitcoin halving with a $40 to $50 Chainlink, setting up for a disgusting rip this bull market, you know. And it's just kind of, I mean, that's where I want Cardano to catch up with these aggressive L1s, right, VJ? Like we saw AVAX, we saw Solana.
Catch up price-wise, catch
Price-wise.
up tech-wise, utility-wise.
I know, but I'm talking price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking price. I want to see Cardano going into the next bull market at like, if we could go into the next bull market March of 2024 with a, you know, 70 cent, maybe even up to $1 Cardano, that would make for a really,
I mean, if we
really good
think
time.
it's going to like 5, 6, I think that's the case. But it usually sits pretty dormant and then rips out of nowhere.
Yeah, it does. It's asleep until it's not.
Because last time it started ripping was
Let's see here. I'll pull it up.
like
here.
April 21,
Let's pull it
and
up.
then topped out. No, it probably started ripping, we'll say maybe March 21.
Yeah, it was like right around February. February, it really started kicking up, and then had another just massive move in you know, August right
Yeah.
there in 2021. So, but this is the dormancy level that you're talking about here. I remember it was just so boring last bear market. And other things were really moving. You know what I mean? At this time frame, you had Chainlink moving.
Did Hannah just post her email
Oh my
address?
God. Is that real? Is that your real address?
I mean, we're
Oh my God.
we're here to teach self sovereignty. You know,
Dear God.
being an
What?
entrepreneur,
Oh
supply
my
and
God.
demand.
Listen,
I meant to say demand. Sorry.
I'm speechless.
Available.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it happened. So there we are. Liver Spot Queen.
I'm gonna go delete the comment.
No,
I'm kidding.
But yeah, keep in mind, Cardano was asleep until it very much was not. Its last bear market, I mean, it was sitting right at 2 cents up to 5 cents for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And then absolutely melted face. And I know a lot of people that really changed their life with this thing. It does look like kind of a similar coiling pattern. It is good that it's at a pretty much a much higher level than a lot of the other altcoins that we look at were able to build their baseline at. But yeah, I'm not discounting it for a minute. And this is interesting. Today, Chainlink staking V2 went live. So I will be looking into staking.
0.2.
Yeah, it's V0.2. I think this is where they actually just lowered the amount of Chainlink you need as a requirement to get into the staking pool, which is pretty cool.
Huh.
I definitely, have enough link to get that going. So I think I probably should, because I can do it on chain, and so bullish on the space. This is Maple, one of our buddies, Nova_Super1, highlighting the Maple price moving. We showed that at the beginning of the show, but absolute shout out on that one. I'll probably be waiting. It's like number 15 into gets. I got my bags out expanded to about 7 different projects right now. Saving this one for more so right around the halvening event. And if it's at 50 cents by the time I get in there, it's not the end of the world for me. Then this Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin thinking AI might turn against us and potentially will leave no survivors and end humanity for good.
Stop it.
Is that good?
Bro, whatever happened with Sam Altman? Is he back or is he not?
I think he has AGI and they're just too freaked out to admit it.
What do you mean, like he's not real?
Artificial general intelligence, where the intelligence of AI starts to outpace humans in their thought processes, and actually the advancements once that happens are said to be exponential. So it's kind of a dangerous situation for outpacing humanity. And in my opinion, I would, if I was an AI thing.
I was going to say, with the obesity in this country, outpacing humanity is probably pretty easy.
Well,
you don't have to go very fast.
And don't you think AI looking at that situation is like, these people are just like taking, there's no giving here. Like, if you're just a baseline,
too many consumers and no producers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's
bullish.
America.
I know that's America. And that's
look at our GDP and
right.
It is.
That's something that you got to take into account. So, Vitalik Buterin kind of worried about that. And then all of a sudden, Amazon announces Q, an AI chatbot for businesses, per the CNBC. This just broke right before we went live. That AGI thing with Sam Altman you brought up, Hannah, that's bothered me. That's definitely bothered me. I made a video about that potential a few months ago, and then he got ousted, brought back, massive company demand for him internally, get rid of the board. That's an ethics board, right? And the board was saying that he didn't disclose information about achieving AGI, singularity.
That was the reason.
That's what the reports of the reason.
Very weird, and now nobody's talking about it.
I know.
That was like last week.
It went away quick,
or
didn't
2
it?
weeks ago. And
went away real quick.
Poof.
So, yeah, that's kind of concerning to me. But I think we've kind of ran over. It's 3:06.
So I was going to see if it is, or this is the Bitcoin way. If you're still here, since you said you slap at a base. Let's see here. If you want to DM me, this is me testing a lot of them. I don't know if you can see this at all.
Is that the new one?
Well, that's one of my new music mans, but because those guys in chat are saying I'm poor, okay. But yeah, so I made suction cup ergonomic thumb rests.
You patented
that. I own the patent on. So if you're interested in trying these out, DM me. There's a bunch of them on there. I'm trying a couple different companies on the actual.
I should let my heavy metal people know about that too.
Yeah, I mean, I got them. I'm. As part of one of my jobs is to sell them. So
You should make ones that look like brass, but then with a green tip.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I eventually will probably make wood ones and other things that would be at a higher price point and things like that.
Okay.
But the ergonomics on it feel very nice. So
okay.
Yeah, the maple neck is very nice. It's a pre-2018 Music Man. So I like some of the Sterling by Music Mans. They're great for the price, but there's nothing like an actual Music Man.
Yeah.
Like, spend the money, buy the right thing.
We need to start a band, BJ. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, I just dropped $5,000 on 2 bases. So yeah, let's play some money.
Do it.
Or let's
what you got, Hannah?
play some music.
C90, OpenAI announced it had reached an agreement in principle for Altman to return as CEO with a new board of directors. Like you said, the new board includes Brett Taylor, the CEO of Salesforce.
Yeah.
which that's huge.
There's
Larry
some
Summers,
reshuffling there.
the former U.S. Treasury Secretary, and Adam D'Angelo, the co-founder of Quora Digest, which is huge. Every time you Google anything,
Yeah,
Quora
you
comes up.
know.
Also,
I-
Ducey, just DM me, or anybody interested, just DM me on Twitter.
Interesting.
I'm sketch, man. I don't think AI is going to look at us as a useful species once it accomplishes that. So keep that in mind. That's my opinion. Okay.
Well,
It's like,
useful in what way?
You guys,
Useful as in a product?
Maybe
guys
that
seen
way.
Yeah,
Squid
PRSs are nice.
if you move during the red light,
Oh my! I need to watch Squid Game.
there's no pleading innocent.
Oh my god.
God,
There's
whoever
no going to court
Oh
anymore.
my God.
whoever orchestrated the music for that show, it's beautifully creepy.
Really?
Like the music is
I gotta
phenomenal.
check it out. All right.
It's a good show.
All
Crazy.
right. Well, we've had a great show. We went over because there's so much to talk about.
Sorry
I
for
don't even
getting
think I got
spicy,
everything.
and thank you,
God.
Don't be
people.
sorry.
Just some of those
Don't be
assholes
sorry.
just fuck off.
You
Troll
know,
me.
Lean into it.
Like there are
you know?
people who troll me here, and it's fun, and then there's people who are just come here to be dicks, and I'm just like, sorry.
Well, you know,
There's a
I'm
difference.
here for it. This
Just
the
close your
Bitcoin
eyes.
way. He is here. Bob the accounting master. Punjab. Something sketch going on. C90 FTW. Ducey does crypto. Skid marks. Manawak. Killed by death. That sounds awful. Mike Bennett. Tage Peterson and Earth Scum. Absolutely lovely joining all of you today on this day in blockchain basement. We're on our way back up. Bitcoin has no F's to give. We're in the right position. We're looking at the right projects. So just stay focused, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully something massive happens, and we'll go nuts about it. But take care.
Nice, dos vidania.